Does the thought of foreign influence in American schools make you uncomfortable? Let's break it down. There's a growing concern about the extent of foreign involvement in our educational system, particularly the influence of China. Evidence suggests financial ties between American schools, from kindergarten to 12th grade, and entities sponsored by the Chinese Communist Party. It's a complex and sensitive issue, presenting a significant challenge to our national security and educational integrity. Senator Marco Rubio has taken a step towards addressing this issue. The legislation Senator Rubio has introduced aims to protect U.S. schools from foreign adversaries' influence. Let's delve a little deeper into this bill. At its core, the legislation seeks to prohibit higher education institutions, their faculty, and staff from establishing or maintaining relationships with specified individuals, or what the bill terms as covered persons. These could be undercover foreign adversaries, who may seek to exert undue influence on our educational institutions. To ensure compliance, the bill stipulates that universities must develop and enforce policies that require the disclosure of such relationships. This means that if a faculty member or staff is found to have any ties with these covered persons, it must be made known to the university and appropriate action taken. Now you might be wondering what happens if a university fails to comply. The bill has that covered too. Any institution found to be owned or controlled by these covered persons would lose eligibility for federal funding. This is a significant deterrent as federal funding forms a substantial part of the financial backbone for many universities. Furthermore, the bill is not just about prevention but also about identification. It mandates that universities must establish guidelines to prevent or identify any such clandestine relationships. This proactive approach ensures that our educational institutions are not just reacting to threats as they occur, but are actively working to prevent them. But the bill doesn't stop at universities, it also targets K-12 schools. K-12 schools are not exempt from this legislation. In fact, the bill's scope extends to these foundational educational institutions as well. The legislation mandates that states create specific rules aimed at preventing school staff from establishing or maintaining relationships with foreign adversaries. These relationships could potentially place undue influence on the educational system and compromise the integrity of our schools. In addition to this, the bill takes a firm stance on private schools run by what the legislation terms as covered persons. These covered persons are individuals or entities identified as potential foreign adversaries. Private schools operating under their management or influence will not be eligible for federal funds. This is a significant measure to ensure that our educational institutions remain free from potentially harmful external influences. The legislation goes beyond just relationships, though. It also addresses financial matters. It brings into its purview gifts or contracts from foreign sources. The bill also has provisions regarding gifts or contracts from foreign sources. This is a key aspect of the bill, ensuring financial transparency and accountability, and further strengthening the integrity of our educational institutions. The bill aims to increase transparency and accountability. It seeks to do this by reducing the minimum value required for reporting gifts or contracts from foreign sources. This means even smaller transactions will need to be reported, shedding more light on the level of foreign involvement in our educational institutions. Furthermore, the bill broadens the scope of reporting obligations to include not just the institutions themselves, but also faculty and staff. In other words, individual members of the academic community will be held to the same standards of transparency. But there's a catch. Compliance with these rules is not merely encouraged, it's mandated. The bill makes it clear that abiding by these reporting requirements is a prerequisite for federal funding. Institutions and individuals who fail to comply risk losing this vital source of financial support. The implications of this bill are far-reaching. In essence, this bill is a step towards safeguarding American education. It sets clear boundaries, prohibiting relationships with defined foreign adversaries in higher education institutions. It extends its reach to K-12 schools, demanding states to establish rules against such relationships. The legislation also tightens reporting requirements for gifts or contracts from foreign sources. The implications of this bill could be far-reaching. It could reshape the relationship between the U.S. and its foreign adversaries, and it may impose significant consequences for American schools and their staff. Only time will tell the true impact of this bill on American education. With that said, we come to the end of our analysis of this new bill, but the conversation shouldn't end here. It's important to stay informed and engaged with these issues that can significantly shape the future of education in our country. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Your interaction helps us reach more people and spread awareness about these crucial topics. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with our future content. Remember, your voice matters. Let's continue the conversation together.